now.
We call it a resurrection of something new life.
How a local organization is turning what was once an eyesore into a place to benefit the unsheltered, all with the help of a generous donation.
And power and control in an abusive relationship happens slowly, so it's common for victims to lose their sense of reality. How an author is teaching women to trust their instincts using situational awareness.
And local teachers are letting their voices be heard to the state about what it would take to keep them in their jobs. We spoke with local teachers union that says the solutions are simple if the state would be willing to work with them. Up first tonight, Communities Under the Bridge has been helping the city of San Antonio's unsheltered population since 1996.
Yeah, and now as the night team's Lee Waldman shows us, several new resources are in the works to take their care to the next level.
It's a welcome sound of demolition next to the Communities Under the Bridge sanctuary downtown.
They had been condemned and they were an eyesore and people were squatting in them, and a lot of negative things had been happening on this property.
The two old buildings that once stood here are finally gone, giving Communities Under the Bridge Executive Director Diane Talbert room to build.
Designing two buildings, both will be 2 stories. One building will have showers and a barber shop in it, and the second level will be offices. The other building will be a laundromat.
Right now, some of the other organizations across the city that help the unsheltered population offer showers, but Talbert believes the permanent barber shop and laundromat will be the first of their kind.
We want to provide the services to make them feel that they are worthy enough to go and get a job and live in a house.
All the needed permits have been filed and the design process is still underway, but Talbert says their greatest need is financial help from the community.
We're going to depend on that same generosity to help us raise the between $400,000 and $500,000 it's going to take to clear this property totally and raise up 2 brand new resurrected buildings.
She hopes these new resources will help break the cycle of chronic homelessness so more people can get off the streets.
If we can get any of them off the street, then it's successful. That's the way I feel about it.
This week, they hope to have the design completed for the laundromat, barber shop, and for those showers. The hope is to have 8 showers and 10 washer and dryers. By the end of the year, they hope to have some tangible progress when it comes to the construction work that they've been doing. Now, if this story touches your heart and you want to figure out a way you can help, go to KSAT.com, click on the story, and you can find ways that you can donate and also donate some financial needs as well. Reporting live, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Lee. A mother tonight is overwhelmed with gratitude after her daughter was found safe. Lynette Martinez from El Paso disappeared after attending a UFC event here in San Antonio last month. Today, she was found in Austin. Her discovery was confirmed by the University of Texas Police Department, along with her mother, Rosie Galvan, who you remember we spoke to on Friday. Galvan has since posted on social media about the situation, saying she is grateful for all of the supporters. Details about Martinez's reappearance, though, is limited right now, but we will continue to follow this developing story.
Back here at home, a driver is facing charges in connection with a suspected drunk driving crash that left a San Antonio police officer and a passenger hospitalized. The crash happened just before 1 a.m. on Eisenhower Road and Loop 410. San Antonio police say the driver arrested was allegedly speeding when he hit the police unit from behind. The officer was taken to the hospital. That same driver and his passenger were also hospitalized in serious condition. Once released, that driver is expected to be booked for intoxication assault.
And San Antonio police are also looking for another driver who ran off after his truck crashed and caught on fire on Loop 1604. That crash happened just after 10 o'clock last night on Loop 1604 near the Highway 90 exchange. Police say the driver was allegedly speeding in the truck when it lost control and crashed into a concrete wall, which caused it to catch on fire. Witnesses say the driver then ran off. Officials say the truck is a total loss. The frontage road was shut down for about a half hour while crews processed that scene.
In this next crash, a woman is facing charges after police say her SUV crashed into an East Side apartment complex. It happened around 11 p.m. at the intersection of Gabriel and Walter Street. San Antonio police believe the woman was speeding. When they got to the scene, they arrested the woman under suspicion of driving while intoxicated. There were people inside that apartment at the time of the crash, but luckily none of them were injured.
Shifting to much lighter news. Is it a bird, a plane? No. It's Easter eggs falling from the sky. Well, from a helicopter that was up in the sky. That's how several families got a head start on their Easter festivities as they were out at Last Chance Ministries. Despite Easter happening next weekend, many organizers taking the time to celebrate just a little early. That also included the Al-Azhar Shriners, which hosted their Easter egg hunt. The hunt was separated by kids' ages. That way all could have a chance to participate. Wouldn't have any 8-year-olds knocking over the 0 to 3-year-olds. That event was included a party for all the families to enjoy. And with the temperatures feeling very spring-like today, maybe almost summer-like as we start to warm up, it's no wonder all those organizations wanted to get a head start on the holiday. Mia?
Yes, exactly, because in the days leading up to the actual Easter holiday next weekend, we've got a lot of changes to talk about in the forecast. Today, though, we had the cloud cover on hand for the most part. A few peaks of sunshine were found out there earlier this afternoon, but something you likely noticed if you spent some time outdoors today, especially compared to yesterday, was the humidity. We had dew points rise as that Gulf moisture worked back into south central Texas. That also helped it feel even warmer than it actually was. Muggy out there right now. Temperatures are still in the upper 70s and even a few low 80s in spots in and around the San Antonio area. Check out these dew points, very much in that muggy category. In fact, about 20 to even 30 degrees higher than where we were this time last night. So it will be a muggy start if you're stepping out for the Monday morning drive. Also expecting the cloud cover, and yes, some areas of patchy fog could slow some of us down first thing tomorrow. And then check out those temperatures. By tomorrow afternoon, a summer-like feel. We're expected to climb into the 90s for most. We do have some cooler air that moves in by the second half of this week, along with better rain chances as well. We'll get you all those details and time it out for you coming up in just a few.
Well, to get out of an abusive relationship, you first have to realize that you're in one. It can be difficult to detect since domestic violence typically progresses slowly and gradually. That's why a determined woman became an expert, writing a book on situational awareness for women in dangerous relationships. This story, part of my series Confronting Domestic Violence, Loving in Fear.
Abusive relationships usually begin with gaslighting, when the abuser causes self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind.
Gaslighting is awful because it makes you question your reality and question, well, did I really see that? Did I really hear that? Am I overreacting? Am I reading too much into it?
Kelly Sayer has experienced that, and after extensive research, she wrote a book about situational awareness called Sharp Women.
Recognizing and understanding your intuition and trusting that that's your natural survival instinct.
She teaches that situational awareness is using all your senses to notice when something is off.
You're going to get to know what their normal behavior patterns are. So you're going to recognize those subtle off things, whether it's a behavior or something they said, that are early warning signs of potential danger.
Some warnings are nonverbal, like body movements or facial expressions. Once you hone that awareness, Sayer says to make a safety plan in case things turn dangerous by anonymously contacting the domestic violence hotline or family violence prevention services to form that plan.
Whether that's setting up a routed mailing address so that when you get to get bills, when you need to get prescriptions for your kids, when you need information from their schools, that it's going to a P.O. box.
She also suggests collecting evidence if it is safe to do so. She talks about an app and website called Victim's Voice, which helps you record and keep track of evidence if you need to use it in court later.
The most dangerous time in a domestic abuse relationship is that leaving and after you have left. So take the time, reach out to resources, find out what is available to you in your area.
Though these steps may seem insurmountable, they lead to freedom.
Your life matters and that you don't deserve to live this way in an abusive relationship. So making your personal safety a priority is nothing you should ever apologize for or feel embarrassed by.
Sayer's book, Sharp Women, is available online. We have the link on KSAT.com. If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, there is help out there. There are some numbers on your screen right now. We also have a much longer list of resources on our website. Just go to KSAT.com/domestic violence.
Still to come on the Nightbeat, some scams can cost you hundreds, others thousands, just like this land scam we have to warn you about. The one red flag that helped one woman from losing out on an investment. Plus, cleanup still underway in 9 states after more than 30 confirmed tornadoes touched down, the latest on the death toll and how the federal government plans to help clean up.
And teachers are fighting for change by letting the people in charge know what they want, what the local teachers union says it will take to keep them in schools.
Better pay and better working conditions. For years, teachers have been calling for both.
Yeah, and now they're getting support from a statewide task force created by the governor.
As the Night Team's Camelia Juarez explains, education leaders are asking lawmakers to finally take action.
A year ago, Governor Greg Abbott ordered a mix of teachers and administrators across Texas to investigate teacher shortages. Now, the Teacher Vacancy Task Force released a report in February recommending lawmakers raise teacher pay, increase training, and improve working conditions.
Its findings are no surprise.
Alejandra Lopez with San Antonio Alliance, the union for San Antonio ISD, says teachers have called for pay raises for years.
Our compensation does not match the respect and dignity that we deserve on the job.
House Bill 1548 would give all Texas teachers a $15,000 raise. The Teacher Vacancy Task Force also recommends raising the amount of state funding per student. House Bill 882 would raise the basic allotment from $6,000 to $7,000 per student. The recommendations come as state lawmakers decide how to spend a $32 billion budget surplus.
So what makes this year different than other years is that the money is there, and we need our elected officials to step up and make a choice to invest in our public schools.
In a task force survey, teachers say unsustainable workload is the #1 reason they leave the job. The report recommended that lawmakers fund a study on how teachers use their time in and out of the classroom. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, if you had a choice to be inside or outside today, I guess depending on
Depends on what you like.
how you feel.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was outside for a little and I got inside very quickly when I felt how humid it was.
Especially like yesterday was so nice,
Yes.
right? We had dry air. It just felt very comfortable to step outside to. Today, totally different story.
Yep.
We had south winds move in overnight, a warm front pushed through south central Texas, and yes, the humidity quickly returned. So you likely noticed that if you did spend some time outdoors today. And really, as we head into the first half of this week, that humidity is going to stick with us for the most part. Also is going to be very summer-like. Highs are expected to climb into the 90s both tomorrow and into Tuesday. Now, if that's too hot for you for this time of year, considering it is the first full week of April, don't worry. We have a cold front that's going to move in early Wednesday morning. As of right now, it looks like before the sun comes up. That's going to bring in some cooler air and more promising rain chances follow that. So that rain, cooled air, added cloud cover could potentially hold temperatures to the 60s by Thursday and Friday. So that temperature roller coaster definitely sticking with us this week as well. But yes, let's talk about that humidity. Dew points right now compared to where we were this time last night. Again, about 20 to even 30 degrees higher. So that muggy feel is with us. That will also be with us early tomorrow morning. You can see here on your futurecast depicting what visibility values could look like stepping out the door for the Monday morning drive. This is around 7 a.m. We could find some spots of patchy to even dense fog develop. So maybe not a bad idea to plan on giving yourself a little bit of extra time out the door just to be on the safe side. Temperature wise, it is going to be an above average start to our Monday. Mid to upper 60s expected here in San Antonio, around 67 to 68, I think, in Bexar County by 7 a.m. A little bit cooler up into the hill country off to our northwest, 60 in Kerrville, 62 in Comfort, but especially across our far southern and southeastern counties, coastal plains where more of that humidity has been with us. We'll start off our Monday morning closer to about 70 degrees. Cloud cover also with us throughout the first half of the day, and then I think into Monday afternoon. Also, like kind of what we saw earlier this afternoon, that's going to break up just a little bit more, leadway to some peaks of sunshine. Check out what that's going to do to our temperatures, though. We are going to climb into the low to mid 90s in and around the San Antonio area. So around 94 right now is that forecast high here in town. I think to our southwest, across portions of the Winter Garden, Some upper 90s closing in on the triple digits, not completely off the table. And remember, that humidity is there as well, so it's likely going to feel a little bit hotter than that. Also will be a bit breezy to try and help that, especially throughout the later portion of the day tomorrow. I think we could find some wind gusts upwards of 20 to 25 miles per hour. We should be safe of the existing record high of 97 here in San Antonio tomorrow, but that could be in jeopardy by Tuesday. The record high is 93. We've got a forecast high of 94. So if that verifies, that could actually break the record high for Tuesday. So we'll keep eyes on that. Then here comes that cold front. Before the sun comes up on Wednesday, we see those winds shift in from the north. That could also bring an isolated storm chance as well that could linger into the Wednesday morning drive. So we'll keep eyes on that as well. We'll time that out again. We're pretty quiet here in south central Texas right now. There's a lone severe thunderstorm closer to Bryan College Station tonight. The more widespread activity that pushed through the Metroplex earlier this afternoon, that now moving through northern Louisiana, Arkansas, even western Mississippi. A tornado watch continues to our northeast until 1 a.m. No severe weather for us, but it's this area of low pressure that is already sparking some activity across portions of the Pacific Northwest. That's what's going to track eastward, drop that front into the area early Wednesday. And then check this out as we see some more moisture and energy override that boundary once it stalls to our south. We could be seeing some pretty decent rain chances return to the forecast. Some of the better rain chances we've seen in quite some time Thursday and Friday. So that's something to check back in on over the next few days as we fine tune the details, maybe plan on keeping the umbrella handy. And also if we can find that rain, cold air and cloud cover, temperatures much cooler than earlier this week, topping off in the 60s, guys.
That is great news. We know we need it.
Yes.
A note to summer, you get June, July, August, September.
That's it.
No, leave April alone, okay? Let us have nice things in April. Still ahead on the Nightbeat, new research is suggesting patients who suffered traumatic brain injuries may need extended treatment to recover. How this new study is challenging current treatment protocols when the Nightbeat continues.
To some health news now. An estimated 1.5 million people suffer a traumatic brain injury every year in the U.S. That's according to the CDC. And new research is shedding light on the long-term effects of these injuries and changing how some believe it should be treated. CNN's Mandy Gaither has a look at the research and what it could mean going forward.
It's long been thought that people who suffer traumatic brain injuries are out of the woods after being treated.
It was considered more like breaking a leg, where you have a period of recovery, but then once you reach a certain point, then things are stable.
But a new study of more than 25 years of data is challenging that. Researchers at The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center found that some traumatic brain injuries become chronic conditions requiring lifelong treatment.
We actually see people changing long after their original injury. And actually, the thing you're least likely to do is stay the same.
The researchers say some continue to have problems with thinking, problem solving, or regulating behavior and are often unsupported after initial treatment, which can make those issues worse. Those involved in the study are working to come up with new ways to help places like healthcare facilities, treatment centers, shelters, and even prisons better screen those with traumatic brain injuries and give the care that's needed.
If we were to proactively manage traumatic brain injury, like we do diabetes, for instance, to optimize someone's health and functioning lifelong.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The San Antonio Spurs tipped off the final week of their regular season today at the Sacramento Kings. Plus, head coach Greg Popovich got his call to the Hall, along with his longtime point guard, Tony Parker. For a preview of what's on Instant Replay tonight, let's check in with my friend, Larry Ramirez.
Hello, friend Tim Gerber. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
You in a good mood as usual?
I am.
Okay. Hey, so Coach Pop recently said the Hall of Fame is for guys like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Well, Coach, you're going whether you like it or not. For years, the longstanding belief was Pop wanted certain players like Tim and Manu in the Hall before he would allow himself for consideration. Coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
Just amazing. As far as those other two people, they're pretty special.
That was Pop during pregame today, being funny and caring at the same time. He's thrilled to be going into the Hall along with Tony and Becky. What can we expect from Pop's acceptance speech, and how will Manu factor in it? Pop will tell you.
Somebody's been begging for him to shoot. I don't know who that person is, but I think it is me.
Spurs forward Julian Champagny was brilliant in the first half today, scoring 22 points against the Kings to help the Spurs lead by 5 at halftime against the third best team in the West. And the Spurs would prevail in overtime. Highlights are on the way.
I'm not sure my daughter Reese will remember too much what just transpired, but it was really special to have her and my wife Mallory come out to the green and be able to share this with them.
Corey Connors loves the Oaks course at TPC San Antonio. Today he notched a second career PGA Tour win, and both have come with the Valero Texas Open. We'll show you how he did it before he heads to the Masters in search of a green jacket. It's fight week for Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who's looking to paint his opponent black and blue. So what does Bam do to relax? SAFC picked up 3 more points, and the Missions are getting ready to play ball. That's tonight on Instant Replay.
That's part of my good mood. Baseball is back this weekend. A certain team from a certain town that I like did pretty well this weekend. Thanks, Larry.
That's why you're happy. I love it.
We have to follow up on that tragic, toxic train crash in Ohio. What was found in the air that even stopped investigators in their tracks?
And debris still covers the ground across many states after tornadoes hit the South and Midwest this week. We have the breakdown of the recovery efforts still happening.
And instead of starting construction plans on a vacant property, one woman is thankful she did not become the latest victim of a land scam. What it is and how to avoid it from happening to you when the Nightbeat continues.
Well, this vacant lot is where a San Antonio couple wanted to build their dream home, so they made an offer on the listing. Trouble was, it wasn't for sale.
It was a scam, and it's the type that's the fastest growing real estate fraud sweeping the country. 12 on your sides, Marilyn Moritz explains the dirty deal.
This was it because it was over an acre, gorgeous area, level lot, for a great price.
When Josanna Quintanilla saw this corner lot in Helotes for sale for $250,000, she called the listing agent and made a cash offer.
Seemed to be the perfect situation where he wanted a cash offer that closed quickly.
Realtor Sarah Buheider said the seller had contacted her to market his land.
He provided me all of the correct information that a typical seller, legitimate seller would give you to list a property.
All was good until she found a conflicting phone number for the property owner and called it.
The voicemail voice that I heard was totally different than the phone number that I had been talking to.
Turns out her client was an imposter.
She texted me urgent. She said, I have some bad news. It's a fraud. And I told her, you've got to be kidding me.
It's no joke. The Secret Service is warning of a sharp increase in vacant land scams. Easy targets.
Who checks on their vacant lot on a regular basis?
Thomas Cronkite works to prevent wire fraud. He says this one works like this. The bad guy searches public records to find vacant property free of liens.
They would then impersonate the owner by creating credentials and typically an email that looks like it's in the name of the owner.
They contact a listing agent and want a cash offer. At closing, they don't sign in person, but request a notary, which they also fake. The money is then wired to the scammer.
It's unfathomable just thinking that this could happen and nobody would know about it.
The scheme may not be found out for weeks, leading to a potential legal mess. So how can you prevent this con job?
I think it's a shared responsibility. I mean, this really deals with, do we know the customer that we're dealing with?
Fortunately, Buheider was skeptical and stopped the sale. How close were you to losing a ton of money?
I mean, to be halfway through a deal and know in 2 weeks, $200,000 could have been wired to the wrong person, absolute shocking.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Now to Ohio, where a CDC team is investigating a toxic train crash that they're now recovering after they began to experience the same symptoms as the other people in the area. CDC officials say on March 6th, 7 investigators were part of the team going door to door evaluating people who had started experiencing sore throat, headache, coughing, and nausea. For weeks, state and local officials have tested the air and water, declaring the results have shown both are okay. But despite government reassurances, people in the area are not satisfied.
We certainly do feel forgotten in some aspect. How many people in my community need to be sick in order for someone to say, oh, maybe the air quality isn't so great?
The news of investigators falling ill comes the same day the Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against Norfolk Southern, handing down a nearly $65,000 fine for every day it violated clean water laws. Norfolk Southern responding to that lawsuit, saying in part, quote, "We'll keep working until we make it right."
Now to the aftermath of that dangerous weather breakout across the South and Midwest. A dangerous new storm is threatening. Tornado watches in effect for parts of Texas and Louisiana tonight. ABC's Rhiannon Alley tells us more about those concerns amid cleanup from this weekend's deadly tornado outbreak.
Across the South, millions on alert for severe weather. It follows at least 59 tornadoes that ravaged 11 states on Friday and Saturday. A doorbell camera in New Jersey capturing what appears to be a tornado as the system slammed the East Coast. At least 4 tornadoes ripped across the state. High winds knocking down trees in Howell Township.
Lights started flickering and then eventually went off. I was traumatized.
In Sussex County, Delaware, one person died after a home collapsed. Meantime, in Little Rock, Arkansas, these before and after satellite images showing the devastation and a path of destruction left behind. This video shows that EF3 tornado as it tore through. This driver caught right in the middle of it.
Yeah, 100% did think I was going to die. Once I saw the winds pick up the way they did.
Further east in wind, Governor Sanders praising the recovery effort.
Obviously, this is just an unbelievably tragic moment for our state, but what I found to be so amazing are the people who are stepping up, not just from this community, but across all of Arkansas.
In Adamsville, Tennessee, a one stoplight town, 9 people died.
Praise the Lord.
But we're alive. We're alive.
Misty Garner Gray, members of her family and their dogs huddled in her in-laws' basement when an EF3 tornado hit.
The front of the house is right here. The front porch is just gone.
The bedroom walls and the roof badly damaged. Her home destroyed. Her in-laws, Gerald and Erling Gray, lived there for 35 years. The family removing their belongings ahead of more severe weather expected this week.
It was devastating.
It was devastating. Really? But we was happy. We were none of us hurt.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Family and friends of Frederick Livingston Jr. coming together to honor him outside the Apollo Theater last night in Belvidere, Illinois. That is about 70 miles west of Chicago. The 50-year-old was the sole person, the victim from the roof collapse after that severe storms passed through the area. Outside the venue, those high winds tearing down the theater's marquee with bricks littering the street.
A trial set to begin tomorrow for the Idaho woman who is accused of killing her 2 youngest children. Lori Vallow could be facing life in prison without parole for the deaths of 7-year-old Joshua and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan and her husband's late wife. The news of her children's deaths came after the grandparents reported them missing in 2019 and after Vallow privately married a doomsday author in Hawaii and joined his religious group. After 9 months of searching, the children were found buried in a shallow grave. Prosecutors have painted a grim story. They say the couple's doomsday beliefs led them to kill the children.
Pope Francis attends Palm Sunday Mass in St. Peter's Square just one day after leaving the hospital. Some 30,000 parishioners were there carrying traditional palm leaves and olive branches, according to the Vatican. The Pope remained seated for most of the Mass due to an ongoing knee problem. Palm Sunday begins one of the busiest weeks for Pope Francis, who has events scheduled until Easter Sunday next week.
All right, back here at home, let's go outside with live cam. We've got the cloud cover in place. Temperatures still in the 70s here in San Antonio. We've got the moisture as well. Very humid out there, and the return of that humidity was one of the reasons why it was another above average day temperature-wise from start to finish. We had an official morning low of 66 degrees, 10 degrees above the average for this time of year, and a daytime high just shy of 90, also well above the average for this time of year. Check out our southwestern counties. Cotulla 97 earlier this afternoon. It was 95 in Carrizo Springs, stretching over to Del Rio, 87 in Gonzales, and 88 in New Braunfels. Here in town, how about the 90s tomorrow and into Tuesday? But more changes move in for the back half of the week and even into next weekend after we see the front move through early Wednesday. That also comes with some better rain chances in the forecast. Another full look at the week ahead coming up in just a few.
Thank you, Mia. Well, this is the start of a big week for former President Donald Trump after indictment charges were announced last week. What we can expect to happen in court in New York City come Tuesday.
And we could be still a year away from astronauts traveling to the moon, but the first step is getting the right crew to go there. Who we can expect to be on board.